Hello, NSU Spartan fans. Joe Cook, once again joined by head coach Anthony Evans of the men's basketball team, and just a recap on the Spartans' last outing: a 73-62 win over Long Island University. A game where I know I saw some defensive execution. There was at least a couple instances where Spartans were able to trap the ball in the back court, create a turnover, and get an easy score. Is that something that you can see that's going to happen consistently?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're looking to up tempo a little bit more. We just added 3 more players, so it gives us some more depth. So we're trying to get out, we're trying to be aggressive, put more pressure and up tempo.
And another storyline from that game was the debut of your transfers, Rob Johnson, Quasim Pugh, Winston Graham. I mean, what did you see from them that they brought to the game?
Well, they gave us, they give us energy, they give us experience, and Rob Johnson, Quasim gave us some scoring. Between the two, they had 17 points. As I said before, Winston will probably take a little bit longer to get into a groove because he hasn't played basketball for about 2 years. So the other 2 guys have played within a year. They had to sit out, but they did play. Winston hasn't. So it'll probably take them a little bit longer, but the 2 guys provided a spark for us off the bench with some scoring.
He definitely did. Quasim Pugh with 10 points, and one thing that really stood out about Pugh was his quickness. I mean, something that we haven't seen from the point position probably since maybe the Michael Deloach days.
Right. I mean, it's nice to see because he's going to help us in transition. There was one point where he got a steal. 2 guys were at half court, and he blew by him. I mean, it was great to see that quickness on the floor. He's going to help us with transition. He can get out, pressure people full court, 94 feet.
And another good thing to see from that game was Kyle was able to stay on the floor. He had 35 minutes of action, and he produced a double-double, 22 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 blocks. How did you see Kyle adjust from previous games to this game as far as what he was able to do on the court, staying on the court?
Well, he's being smarter. He wasn't going after every block shot. He was coming over, just being big to try to avoid contact. So that was an adjustment that he made. The guys were trying to help him by keeping the guards away from him, trying to keep them out the lane. And he was blocking shots, so he was intimidating them a little bit, which was nice to see.
Yeah, most definitely. And as Spartans move on down to your road trip now, a little trek through the Midwest, Illinois State and Toledo. Look at Illinois State, the Missouri Valley Conference. They're 6-3 as well. They've already beaten Bethune-Cookman this year by 24 points and Rutgers by 6. Their calling cards, one of your calling cards as well, is scoring defense, and just defensive team. They only allow points, 58.2 points per game. So what are you going to try to do offensively to try to put some points on this defense?
Well, we've got to try to use our defense as our offense to get out in transition, because if it's going to be half court, it's going to be a grinded out, between both teams. So I think the advantage would be we have a little bit more quickness. They have some shooters. They have one of the best big men that we've seen for a few years in Jackie Carmichael. So we've got to do a good job on him. But I think we have a little bit of an advantage quickness-wise.
And then, like you said, on the defensive side, you're going to pay attention to Jackie Carmichael. He's leading them with just under 13 points per game, with 12.9, also 8 rebounds. And he also has some guys around him, John Ackey and Tyler Brown, the 3-point threat. They're all averaging around 12 points per game. So they have 3 guys able to put up some numbers on the board.
They do. We have to do a good job against all of them. But they have some other players who can shoot the basketball. 4 guys at a time they put on the floor who can shoot it, surrounding Carmichael. So we've got to do a good job as a team playing defense, not just as man for man.
And another Midwest team you guys will be facing is the University of Toledo, the Rockets. They're also 6-3. They have 4 players averaging double figures as well, and they're led by Rion Pearson, another big man. He's averaging 17.4 points per game, also 8 rebounds. But as you mentioned in his game, he can also shoot from the perimeter, shooting a little like 44% from the 3-point area. So how are you going to address a big man that can score inside and out?
Well, we have to try to use Robbie and Marcos, AJ, those guys to be able to play him, because it's versatile enough to post up, versatile enough to step out on the perimeter. So they have the size, the quickness, the agility to keep up with him. And then the rest of the guys on the floor, I mean, we could put Rodney McCauley on him at times, because Rod is big enough to guard him and quick enough to guard him on the perimeter.
On the offensive side, Coach, this is a team, the Toledo Rockets, they force 17 turnovers a game, so controlling the ball can be paramount in this one as well.
Extremely important, but because they're home. They're going to be confident. We have to do a good job of not turning the basketball over, creating our style of play, and we'll be all right.
And then you also go home, take on St. Francis team in New York. You know, it's a nice little home game there. A lot of your players from New York, chance to play in front of family and friends. But it's one of those things you want the kids to stay focused as well.
Well, you know, previously when we were going up to New York, New Jersey, it's kind of been a homecoming, but I think we've taken it a little too far. You know, wanting to be around family and all that stuff. We can do that after the game's over.
Right.
You know, just focus on the task at hand. Concentrate on St. Francis. They are a good basketball team. They took Seton Hall down to the wire early in the season. So we have to do a good job. They have some shooters. You know, their coach was at St. John's, so he's experienced. You know, very good coach. So we have to go in there and play basketball, focus and ready.
Most definitely. Then you wrap things up against Navy in Annapolis, Maryland, on New Year's Day. So you got these road games coming up. Got the transfers coming in. What are you looking for this team on this road trip? What do you want to see them execute?
I want to build the chemistry. You know, obviously bringing in 3 new players, there's going to be some adjustments that we have to make in our rotation as a team who likes to get the ball where and win. So I'm looking for the chemistry to kind of mesh a little bit better. The other day was our first game. So now we've got 4 other games to work with.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to see that you haven't seen so far?
Just the up tempo, the game. You know, get out and transition a little bit more. I think the LIU game was the first time we may have had 18 points off of fast breaks. So we want to continue that. Quasim will help us there, and some of the other guys by keeping our starters fresh.
Right. See if the Spartans can do that, up the tempo as they take this trek on the road. For more on NSU's men's basketball, you can find it right here at NSUSpartans.com.